Hi, I'm Cassandra Vohs-Demann, and this is the A Place to Shine podcast. Let's do this.
Well, all I can say, all I can say, well, all I can say is here I am, yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited to be back recording the podcast. I hope that you are having a beautiful day. It's a lovely fall day here in Illinois. It's about 78 degrees outside, which is very unusual for this time of year in the fall. I am going to take all of it. I've been sitting outside working this afternoon, and now I get to talk with you. When I was in my early 20s, while I was starting my vocal coaching business, and I was also continuing to develop my career as a singer, I studied with a couple different coaches after college and finally settled in on one who was very well known in Chicago. It had taken me a while to find her. She was somebody who had a very successful career in opera, and honestly, I was shocked I had found my way into her studio. And the only reason I did was because of a conversation I had with another music colleague from a show that I was in, who recommended her. And so I sat on her number for the longest time because I was terrified to call her. And we couldn't email then. There was no emailing. There was no texting. So the only way to get a hold of somebody back then was to call them, because this was in the early 90s. And so I finally did. I finally called her, set up a lesson with her. My soon-to-be husband drove me down because it was in Chicago. And I was so nervous the whole way there before my first lesson that I almost wanted to turn around and go back home or call and cancel. But I decided to go. And I knocked on the door, and she opened the door. And she was this vibrant, beautiful, spirited lady that I was completely intimidated by. She was so comfortable in her skin. She was so comfortable in her presence. And I could feel that. And she was somebody that I really, really looked up to pretty quickly. Now, I felt confident about my singing skills. After all, I had a degree in music and studied voice in college. And part of the lesson was I was supposed to sing for her, and then she would do some vocalizing and do an assessment. So we did that. We got done doing that, and then she sat me down and said, "Let's chat." It was at that point that she told me I had a lot of work to do, which took me back. She said she loved my voice, but told me I had a lot of technical issues vocally, and she could tell I was not comfortable in my own skin. And I needed to be in order to perform professionally. I had no idea really what that even meant, but it felt like a punch to the gut. So she did end up offering me a spot in her studio, which shocked me, especially after our conversation, but I was not sure. I was not sure if I should be happy or terrified, to be honest. So I left the lesson. We had scheduled another one for the following week, and I was going to come every week. I walked out and got in the car, and my soon-to-be husband was waiting for me. And as soon as I shut the door, I burst into tears. He asked me what was wrong, and I told him I found out I suck. Of course, that is not what she said, but it felt like that to me. Because, of course, I was my worst critic. And I really had all kinds of things going through my mind at that time. Should I quit? Am I prepared to, embark on this journey? Do I want to work this hard? And I was there for a reason. I was there because I wanted to get better at what I did. And he consoled me for a while and then smirked and said to me, "I think we found you the right teacher." And I kind of looked at him and I knew he was right. And through my tears, I nodded yes. And that was a decision. That moment was a decision. It was a decision to grow forward, in my study as a singer, but also just as a performer and as a human. That was the beginning of a profound personal growth journey for me. And it had a major impact on the rest of my life. The skills that I built in that studio week after week helped me build the confidence I needed to move forward in all areas of my life and career. And I am not kidding when I say that. I spent 6 years working with that coach, and she eventually became a colleague. At one point, she even asked me to help her start a touring company for her students so they could get more experience performing. And it was at that point that the producer community builder side of me was born, because she showed me that if something you want doesn't exist, just create it. If you see a need and you're passionate about it, figure out a solution. And that was a real instrumental thing for me, because I spent a lot of years of my career building small communities or opportunities for people, as I like to call it, to shine, to step up and practice what they do or show what they do or showcase what they do, to support other people in their own growth journeys. And as time went on, as I studied with her, I could feel myself becoming more self-aware. I could feel myself becoming more confident in my own skin. She made me feel comfortable watching myself in a mirror and finding the connection to my heart when I was singing. She helped me accept and embrace the type of vocal coach I was and not apologize for being different, because up to that point, a lot of my education was very formal and structured, and this is how you do it, and this is how you do this, and this is how you do that. And the way that I worked with my own students was much more relaxed, and we had a lot of fun while we were learning. We had a lot of fun while we were moving through fears and finding ways to grow forward and build skills. And to me, creating that environment for people was really important. But for a long time, I thought maybe I wasn't being formal enough. And she helped me realize that I was being myself, and that was what was helping people, me being myself. She even supported me and helped me at a pivotal moment in my career when I decided to quit pursuing opera, because I wanted to write my own music and do something different. And her words were, "I don't care what you sing as long as you're happy. You don't need me to do that. You know your stuff." She was one of the most influential people in my life during my 20s, and she was exactly what I needed at that time. She was also one of the catalysts that got me to really start thinking about what I wanted, what I enjoyed, how I wanted to be in the world, and how I wanted to spend my time. And I knew deep down that I wanted to make a difference. My desire to sing matched my desire to create opportunity and teach and inspire growth. And she helped me to realize that I didn't have to choose, that I could be a teacher and community builder, and I could also be a performer, and that those things could exist simultaneously as they did for her. As I continue with these podcasts, I'm going to tell you a lot more stories about the beginnings of my entrepreneurial journey. But what I will share now is that during that 6 years of study, my own vocal studio was thriving. The better I became in my coaching sessions with my teacher, the better I got in my own work with my students. The more performing I did, the more I connected with my audiences, the more I faced and overcame my fears, the more skills I had to pass on to my clients. My growth became their growth. And eventually I developed my own way of doing things, my own philosophy, my own way of being in that space, my own authentic voice. The process taught me the power of having someone in your corner. It also taught me to embrace what I don't know and always be open to learning and growth. It was no accident that I found her. It is no accident that I'm sitting here recording this podcast. What I want to leave you with today is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to seek out resources and people and tools that can help you. If there's something that you want to get better at, there's probably someone out there that can help you. And having a coach or mentor has always been a part of my life. Anything that I wanted to learn, I would seek out people who know more than I did so that I could grow. And I believe that you can get better at things with the right resources and support. You will be amazed at how your life can change and how your perception of yourself can change. So today's big lesson, you will never know what you are capable of if you don't try. And you don't have to do it alone. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to seek out those resources. I want to thank you for listening today. It means the world to me to be able to share my experiences with you and hopefully give you some insight, maybe inspiration and motivation to take action on your own behalf. So I hope you have a beautiful day. And before I go, I'm going to practice what I preach. It's my turn to ask for help. If you are enjoying this podcast, please subscribe and share. If there is any way that I can assist you in your journey, please don't hesitate to reach out. I offer a lot of services in confidence building and public speaking, transitions, anything that you might need somebody cheering you on in your corner to help you move forward and grow. I would love to be one of those resources for you. I leave you with my song today, Another Place, Another Time, and a little bit of background information on this one. This one was really a self-awareness song. It was a song that I wrote when I was really pondering my past, my future, who I am now, trying to integrate those things. I hope that you connect with it and believe in what is possible for yourself.
A cutting glance, a hidden smile, a warm hand on your face, hesitation fading fast. There is something in your eyes that I recognize. A piece of me, a piece of you, a place to land. Another place, another time, another dimension. You are in my dreams, you are in my life, a soul's connection. And now here you are, standing right in front of me. You are my past, you are my future, you're my today. Here and now, we will go forth together, bound by forces that we may never understand. Oh, but I have faith that there's a reason that we're together. Shine a light to ease our fears, to take a stand. Oh, another place, another time, another dimension. You are in my dreams, you are in my life, a soul's connection. my future, you're my today. You are my past, you are my future, you're my today.